Have you ever encountered an arrogant police officer who thought he held all the power in his hands? Today we're talking about cops who got caught breaking the law, how they behaved afterwards. Let's check out the video. Two cops pulled over a car for speeding. The thing is, the man and woman in the car weren't even driving fast. It seemed like the cops were just bored and looking for some excitement. But as soon as they stopped the car, they noticed it didn't have a registration plate. The woman explained right away that they had just bought the car and were waiting for the license plate, which could take up to 30 days to arrive. But the cops weren't really listening. One of the cops was particularly focused on the driver because he had a different skin color than him. Without any real reason or warrant, the cop decided to pull him out and search him. Seeing all this, the woman started filming the whole ordeal on her phone. Even though the cops didn't find anything wrong with the man, they still wouldn't leave the couple alone. One of the cops even pointed out that they were recording everything too, as if that would make the woman stop filming their questionable actions. But she kept going, determined to have proof if this ever went to court. She wanted to show clearly that they weren't speeding or doing anything wrong.
Can I get your sergeant, please?
Right now.
Can I get your sergeant here, please?
In a minute.
I just want to go.
Just relax.
You want to read the Constitution rights?
Okay.
Do you want to read it? That's his phone. Do you want to read
I
it?
don't need to read it. I know what they are.
That's his phone.
Okay, well, I'm going to find out if there's
I'm just asking you if do you want to
okay,
read
sir,
it?
just relax, okay?
Oh, he's not moving at all. Look, guys. He's not moving. He's waiting.
Okay, have a seat in the car for me, okay? Just have a seat in the car for me.
Can he move?
Close this door. All right.
Anybody got a cigarette?
How old is this car? Did you just buy it?
I just bought it 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and I have 30 days for my.
Do you have a pink slip for it?
I have 30 days for my registrations to come in. I bought it at the notary. I have 30 days, and I explained that
Where's
to your
your
officer.
paperwork for the notary?
I gave it to him. I
Okay,
gave
so
him
you have-
everything.
Okay.
He has all my, and he even has it on the paperwork, and I have the slip on the back of my window shield. And I told officer whatever 840 whatever his name is.
Right.
And I told him I have cruise control on, which is set to 8 minutes ago. Which when he pulled me over, was 7 minutes ago. I was on recording, and I made sure my cruise control is on. My seatbelt's always on. My cruise control. Listen, my cruise control was set to 45, so I hope he has proof when we go to court that he had me speeding and pulling me over. And can I get your badge number and your name, please?
Yes, 419. It's Skillen.
Okay.
Franklin Park Police.
Okay.
All right. So we're all being recorded, so that's perfect. I'm
Yes.
recording you, and you're recording
No, it's
me.
just for our safety because
No,
he's the
it's-
only black person in the car. He's the only one who got searched.
Well, listen, for our safety as well, we're recording you as well. So
Okay.
that's perfect. So you have no documentation for the vehicle.
What I gave him just now.
It's a pink slip for the purchase.
Can you listen to me? I just explained to you as
Well,
I
listen,
explained to
I'm
him.
asking you, and you're not giving me an answer.
No, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
It's the purchase of the vehicle. I have 30 days to get
No,
mine.
darling, I understand that. Listen, when you buy the car, there should be a pink slip. You have a pink slip for the vehicle?
So what does that mean to you?
That means like when you, because that's the documentation for the vehicle.
So being that she doesn't have that, what is supposed to happen now?
Well, then we have to dig a little bit deeper and find out if this car's registered or not.
This car is
Okay, so
registered
that's
to
what
me,
we
and I
have to
gave
do.
him the
So
slip
what
that it
is
was
that?
registered to me. I gave him 3 slips forms of buying the vehicle, and I have 30 days for my registration to come in. I done explained this to
Why are you
him.
being so mean?
Because because my dad's a lawyer, and I just want y'all to read your rights.
Okay, well then call your dad then. If you have
No, I want to record you so he has proof and evidence of what when we go to
You don't have
court.
to tell me that anymore. I understand that, and you're allowed to do that. I'm not having a problem with that, but you have to listen to me, okay?
And I'm trying to. But why aren't you listening to me, sir? I've been telling you I have 30.
Some cops got caught breaking the law when they showed up with 3 police cars and surrounded a photographer. One of them started questioning whether the man really was a journalist or just someone who liked taking pictures. Really, it shouldn't matter to cops whether someone is a journalist or not. There's no law saying journalists have to identify themselves to police. Plus, it doesn't really matter whether he's a journalist or he just enjoys taking photos for fun. What the cops should care about is that he's a citizen, out in public, doing something that the Constitution completely protects. The photographer asked the cops why they needed so many officers for someone who hadn't actually broken the law, but they just stayed quiet. One tried to defend their actions by saying it seemed odd to him that someone was taking pictures, but that's just a personal opinion, right? When the man asked if he was being detained or if he could leave, none of the cops would give him a straight answer. It was clear they were just trying to intimidate him without any real reason.
I don't need to tell you anything. You guys suspect me of a crime? Do you suspect me of a crime? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, they don't. Supreme Court has already ruled that you are not the arbiter of who's a journalist and who's not a journalist. So, you want to double down on that? I'll find out for you real quick, and you're going to find out real quick too. Are you good with animals? I don't know. You might be working as a dog catcher after you make an ass out of yourself publicly here. So,
We have a supervisor on the way.
great.
Help you out.
Great, I'll talk to them when they show up. Any reason why there's 3 cops here? 3 cars?
You know what kind of facility this is, right?
Oh, in this day and age, you know what? I mean, I'm in fear of my life. That's why I'm shaking, because cops kill people all the time. They got a taser, they got a baton, they got pepper spray, and they always go for their service revolver or their semi-auto instantly. So do you suspect me of a crime? Am I being detained right now?
Sir,
Yes or no? That is a yes or a no question. Yes or a no, am I being detained?
I'm asking you for ID. Do you
And
have ID?
no.
Okay.
Am I being detained right now? Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Who are you? Don't raise your voice.
No, I'm leaving then. If you got no suspicion of a
I
crime.
have to leave.
No. You guys are going to be the next YouTube stars.
I can't wait. You're the one shaking though.
Great.
We're the ones that have been common
Great.
professional.
Am I?
We're the ones that have been common professional to you.
No, you're not being professional to me. I asked you, am I being detained or am I free to leave right now?
We're being. Why? How are we not being professional to you?
You're not answering a yes or no question.
I don't have to answer your question.
Yes.
Okay?
You are such an idiot. You are
I
such an
appreciate that
idiot.
comment. Thank you.
Is this the supervisor?
Right.
Michael 14 FRB, just so everybody knows the next undercover car, Mawa Police. Michael 14 Foxtrot Romeo Bravo.
However, when the man tried to leave, the cops wouldn't let him go. They were careful not to say he was detained, especially since they knew he was filming everything, but having it on camera didn't really make them look any better. Their actions were still pretty questionable. Then another cop stepped in and said the man couldn't leave until they figured out who he was. Realizing this could get them into even more trouble, another cop quickly backtracked and told him he was free to go. Just when he was about to leave, a security man from the building the man had been photographing approached him. The security guy claimed it was weird that someone was taking pictures of their highly secured property and suggested it made them feel nervous that he might try to jump over their electric fence. Sounds ridiculous, right? What the man was doing wasn't a crime, and just because it was odd to the security staff doesn't mean much. People shouldn't have to give up their rights just because someone else feels uncomfortable. If the workers at that building really don't want their building photographed, maybe they should consider building a wall to block the view. That would solve their problem without trampling on anyone's rights.
How about you? Am I being detained or am I free to leave?
Trying to figure out who you are. Right?
No. Boy, you guys are really stupid. You guys are like the stupidest cops I've ever met, and I've met a lot of cops. You guys can't answer a yes or a no question.
We're waiting to identify you. So given the security of the facility. How you doing?
I was doing okay until about 6 minutes ago.
Okay.
Am I being detained or am I free to leave?
Oh no, you're free to leave.
Okay,
I just,
great.
No,
No, yeah,
if
then,
you want some
I don't really care. I don't care. Tell your story walking. What's your name and your badge number?
My name is James Duke. I'm a security supervisor here on the site.
Okay, no, then you're not PD, so you can piss off.
No, and I'm just asking, for a little help. If you're curious about something, I'm more than willing to help you out.
I'm filming a story here. Yeah, there's 3 fucking goons with guns here that won't answer a simple yes or no question.
This is a highly secure area.
Okay, if it's that secure, why are you worried about my gaining entrance to the property?
Because it's that secure.
It's that secure that you guys are scared I'm going to get in past your electric fence?
That's true.
Okay.
That's why we need to know.
Well,
who
in this
you
day
are.
and
if you in journalism, look, we're more than happy. We have a great PR department that would be more than willing to help you out with any stories that you want. But just to walk around and take pictures.
That's a crime? Is that a crime?
It's not a crime, but it's.
How about you, sir? Is that a crime? Is photography a crime?
Don't you think that sets up red flags in this
Don't
day
you
and
think-
age?
In this day and age, look at all the guys with guns. You know how many people, how many innocent civilians, unarmed civilians get shot with guns?
I can't help with that, sir.
Yeah, well, Are you a good cop or a bad cop?
I think I'm a good cop.
Okay. Have you ever given sworn testimony against another officer under sworn oath
Testimony regarding-
regarding misconduct or
That's-
criminal
that's
behavior?
irrelevant. All I
Stop.
wanna
No.
know-
I'm not talking to you right now. Can you hold on a second?
No, I'd like
Okay.
to
Well,
know
then I'm going to
what's
leave.
going on.
I'm going to leave.
Okay.
If you guys don't know how to act, and you guys are the next YouTube stars. So congratulations.
The security guy seemed to know the law better than the cops. Still, he kept following the man, even offering the services of their great PR team to help with any content if he needed it. But the man was a free journalist, intent on capturing whatever he wanted independently. If he had needed help from their PR team, he would have asked long before, right? The security guy didn't take well to the man's response. He insisted that they needed to investigate whether the journalist was planning to enter their private property, where supposedly only employees were allowed. But just because someone takes a photo from the sidewalk doesn't mean they're planning to sneak onto private property. Moreover, it would have been reasonable for the security and cops to act this way if the man had actually tried to climb over the fence, but he hadn't. He was just taking photos from the public sidewalk. They really had no right to waste his time like this. To justify such actions, they would need a reasonable suspicion that the man was about to break the law, not just baseless concerns.
You were cool with me? I'm an independent journalist gathering content for a story.
Right.
You've got a secure facility.
And like I told you, look, we have our PR department is going to work with anybody. I mean, if you have a card or something like that, we'll be more than happy to reach out for you. I can go inside, get your name.
You guys are in bed with Mawa PD. You're okay with how they acted towards me?
I didn't see how they acted.
I asked them if I was detained or if I was free to leave. Nobody would give me an answer.
Well,
you were the only one professional enough to actually say, no, I wasn't being detained and I was free to leave.
Because you're on public property, that's why. At this point, but the minute you start, our property, then becomes.
Are you a mind reader?
Huh?
Are you a mind reader?
Why am I a mind reader?
Well, I mean, you're making it sound like I'm going to step on private property.
Well, we don't know that, do we? Like
Well-
I said,
well,
this
it sounds
is
like you're
a highly
able to-
secure facility. Okay. We're just concerned anytime we see anything that may appear suspicious to us.
Well, listen, you can come out and investigate. I have
That's exactly what
I
we were
have no
trying to
issue
do.
with that. But when they don't follow the law enforcement doesn't know the law.
That's
You
not-
were actually no.
that's
Listen,
fine.
You were actually cool enough with me that you actually knew the law, and you're not actually even work for Mawa PD. I'm sure you're probably retired PD somewhere, but you actually were professional enough to know and understand the law, and I respect that. And what I'm doing here is I'm on a public sidewalk and I'm filming anything I can see from public, and that is not a crime. If it's suspicious, you can come and make contact with me like a human being and
Which is
follow the
what I
law.
did, but I
Right,
gotta remember, I gotta come from a place to find out what's going on.
right.
They have to come here because we don't know who's going to be.
Okay, well they can honor their oath and follow the law. They're a fucking bunch of gang members, man.
The security guy who used to be a cop wasn't keen on criticizing the cop's earlier behavior. Just minutes before, the cops had been mocking the man for shaking, even though he explained he was scared because armed cops surrounded him for no reason. The cops seemed to have forgotten that they were supposed to keep a 6-foot distance in order to avoid making citizens feel threatened. That's a big part of their job as public servants, to make people feel safe. Yet these cops seemed to relish the man's fear, almost as if it boosted their sense of power. The man pointed out to the security guard that these rookie cops were forgetting their oath to uphold the constitutional rights of every citizen. By harassing him while he was simply exercising his First Amendment rights, these cops were not only disrespecting his freedoms, but also risking their qualified immunity.
They're a bunch of gang members. They don't follow the law. I can tell that you are ex-law enforcement, and these guys, simple question, am I being detained or am I free to leave? They wouldn't answer it. That's suspicious. In this day and age of how many cops kill fucking innocent civilians, that makes me really suspicious.
Right.
Makes me very suspicious. I'm sorry? So,
Like I said, if you want to give me your name, I'll be more
what,
than
so I
happy
can
to-
show up on a terrorist watch list because now you guys are in a red zone? What?
I say I was going to put you on terrorist watch list.
You're going to generate a report, yes
I
or
have to generate a report.
okay, and that's going to go to your fusion center.
And we're going to see. We're going to send you what I would like you to do if you want to do something journalistic. Just put you in touch with our PR people.
No, thanks.
Okay. Then we really have nothing else to discuss. But just know that, anytime, day or night, when we say something suspicious, we're going to act. That's the way it is.
Well, listen, like I said, I have no issue with you guys coming out and making contact with me. But when when they do not uphold their fucking oath to the Constitution of the freedom of press and the First Amendment, then they're going to get talked to the way I talk to them. And I didn't talk to you that way.
No, you didn't.
Because you actually answered my first question that I inquired about. And
It's just that we like to know who we're dealing with. We're not here to make enemies with
Okay, so
anybody. We want
let me
to
ask you this
keep
question. So this report that gets generated, okay, it goes to your fusion center.
Despite being approached for his identification, the security man, who was once a cop, didn't want to give his name when the journalist asked for it. Considering he had approached the journalist acting a bit like he was still in law enforcement, he really should have identified himself, especially since the journalist was considering filing a complaint against anyone who threatened his constitutional rights, including the security guard. However, the security guy seemed more aligned with the cops, suggesting instead that the journalist should identify himself to ensure them he wasn't a threat, as if just knowing his name would prove anything. The journalist didn't want to just let this slide, so he challenged the security guard, asking if he was aware that more people die each year at the hands of cops than from terrorists. This was precisely why the journalist felt intimidated when surrounded by armed cops without any justification. It highlights a worrying mindset among cops. They think they can act however they want to justify any action, no matter how questionable, by claiming they're just doing their job or ensuring their safety. What's your take on this?
It's outside of your hands right now, okay? Now it's within this is critical infrastructure in this day and age and heightened security. It's going to go to your fusion center, and then I'm going to get put on a terrorist no-fly watch list for doing a constitutionally protected act.
Not that I know of. All I'm doing is
So if I get on that terrorist watch list, do I have any recourse to come back? And I knock on your personal home, on your home door, track you down?
Sure, why not?
Okay, why don't you give me that address?
No.
Why not? You want my address?
Well, we both want kind of the same thing. We want to find out who we're talking to.
And we both want people to honor their oath and not infringe upon rights. It's not that difficult in this day and age, right?
I just want a secure facility. That's all I want.
You've got an electrified fence. You've got cameras.
To alert us when there's suspicious activity happening.
No, right.
Obligation to check out.
Yeah, and I've got cameras, and we're running live to alert all of my people about suspicious activity. I had 3 guys that showed up here with guns.
Because
You know what?
that's their job.
Well, you know I'm 9 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist? You know you're 9 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than a terrorist?
Not if I do what I'm told.
So if I did what I was told right now, I should have just complied. So is that what you think about?
You weren't under arrest. Nobody was detaining you. We just wanted some information.
Well, they wouldn't answer a simple question of whether I was being detained or not. You saw that by all 3 officers.
Mm-hmm. And you walked away.
Only when you were there, that guy got in my way. He blocked my travel.
Well, that's something you're going to have to take up with them.
Great.
Look, if I'm trying to be friendly with you.
No, you've been cool. You've been cool. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you, and Mawa PD was not real cool. They don't understand the law. So do you think?
Well, then you could take that up with Mawa PD.
Oh, don't worry. It'll be taken up with Mawa PD. They'll be all the.
Remember how we talked about that rule where cops are supposed to keep a 6-foot distance? Well, this cop seemed to have totally forgotten about it. He got right up to just a few inches away from this guy, which was way too close. When the man asked him to back off, the cop brushed it off, saying that they were in the public. But really, being in the public doesn't give a cop the right to invade someone's personal space like that, does it? Seeing how this cop was acting, and that he didn't seem bothered at all about getting caught breaking the law on camera, the man decided to ask him to call his supervisor. But the cop acted like he didn't hear the request. You don't need to be a legal expert to know that it's standard policy for cops to call a supervisor if someone asks for one. It was pretty clear this cop was just trying to dodge accountability.
I would appreciate it if you backed away from me. I would appreciate that. Just back away.
But what I can say,
I would appreciate it if you backed away from me.
you're in public.
You're standing inches from me. Back away.
You're in public.
Back away, officer. De-escalate. Get back in your truck and go have your lunch. Go enjoy your lunch. This is not what you want to do.
What's the name of your YouTube page?
You want to go to lunch. That's what you want to do. You don't want to do this. There's no reason for it. You thought you were going to intimidate me coming up on me like that. Didn't work, did it? Didn't back up an inch. Now please back up and de-escalate. Or go get your supervisor. Can you call a supervisor? Because this guy is trying to intimidate me.
We got Dave.
You intimidate those guys in there, you ain't going to intimidate me. You intimidate them because they're in handcuffs and they're in cells. I'm not either one of those right now. So you're not intimidating me. Now back up, go to lunch, stop harassing me.
After hopping back into his police car, the cop came back out to ask the man what he was up to. When the man said he was just taking photos, surprisingly, the cop called for backup. It makes you wonder, what's the big deal with the guy taking pictures? This brings up another point. Why are some cops so uneasy about cameras? And on top of everything, why did this cop even call for backup? He then told the man he was in a hurry for lunch, as if the man was the one holding him up. But in reality, it was the cop who had come over and interrupted the man's day. Seems like some cops really don't have much to do.
What are you doing?
I'm just taking some pictures and video of the facility
Why?
for my own personal use. What are you doing?
A guy out here trying to film the jail.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I was going to go to lunch.
You were going to go to lunch? Don't let me stop you.
You're not stopping me.
Yeah, you're not detained, or you're free to go to get your lunch. Okay. Enjoy your lunch. Still following me around. Correctional officer. See, the correctional officer's jobs are to monitor the inmates, not free men and women walking around in public. We have some more correctional officers here. Hey, how are you?
Finally, we have a female cop searching someone's car in a public garage, and a man saw this happening and decided to film it. Her colleagues got pretty upset about him filming the female cop. Makes you wonder, if they weren't doing anything wrong, why would they be so defensive? Then the female cop herself approached the man and asked why he was filming. His answer was simple: because he could. She claimed that as a police officer, she could do whatever she wanted. Sure, she might have the authority to perform her duties, but that doesn't mean everything she does is right, does it? Next, she demanded to know the man's name. He refused to tell her since he hadn't broken any laws. However, she insisted that he was now part of the investigation and had to identify himself, which wasn't true. Her actions seemed to suggest that she thought her badge put her above the law and that she could do whatever she wanted without facing consequences. It seems like only a matter of time before such an attitude could lead to trouble.
There's no evidence of a crime. What's she doing?
We're not here. She's over 18. She's an adult.
Doesn't matter.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't need to get out of here. Under what authority are you telling me to get out of here?
You have no authority to videotape this.
I don't need any authority. There's no law that says I don't have to.
Is there audio on that?
There is.
Does she know you're recording
It
it?
doesn't matter. She doesn't have to. She's a police officer.
Is that young lady a police officer?
It doesn't matter. It's a public place.
It's the state of Illinois.
Yeah, the state of Illinois lost their ass in a case
I'm not getting
on this topic. I am an asshole, but that's okay because that's not against the law. I'm happy to talk to you, officer. Here, let me come around here and I'll be happy to chat with you. Hello?
What are you taking a video of?
Well, I'm wondering what you're doing over here.
I'm a police officer. I have
That's-
a lot of things that I do.
That's fine.
Okay.
There's no issue with that.
Okay, so what are you videotaping?
I'm just making sure that everybody's protected and that you're operating within the boundaries of the law.
Okay, and I am.
Okay, that's fine for you to say, but that's...
I need an ID, please.
No, ma'am, you may not.
I am talking to you and investigating something now. I can't...
You're investigating me for what crime?
I didn't say it was a crime.
Okay, then there's no probable cause or reasonable suspicion for me to
Why
provide
are you
ID.
throwing all this out?
Because the reality is that police in this state have a bad history of demanding ID when no ID is required. And you know what? I don't know what you're going to do with my name, and quite frankly, you don't need it. Since you've already said I'm not committing any crime.
Right. Why are we causing a disturbance here? That's what
I don't know. These gentlemen came over and started talking to me. I didn't say anything to them to start. They came to me.
And then you started videotaping, or I'm not...
No, I had walked out. I'd seen you over there doing... I don't know. I was a little concerned because I saw you getting into that lady's van, and this whole situation over here looked a little sketchy to me. So...
If you were actually concerned, why didn't you call police?
I'm making sure everybody's safe. I don't need to call the police.
It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Those two are police officers too.
Okay. Well, that doesn't change the legality of the
Right, but you
situation.
don't have to cause an issue. If they ask you to do something,
Okay.
you do it.
No,
Just like
if you ask me to do something, I'll consider it.
Okay.
Ask is not a demand. Ask does not allow you to tell me what to do.
We're good.
That's the underlying issue.
Say that again.
Is you can ask me to do whatever you like.
You're right.
Okay.
Just like you can ask me to do
However,
something for you.
what you're saying is you're not asking me. You're demanding I do something.